Live. What's up, everybody?
Hey,
Back
what's up,
live
y'all? How y'all
for
doing?
another pre-PT chat on this Wednesday this week. It's
For
CSM week,
sure.
so we bumped it up a day to accommodate for that. And if you
That's
guys have any
true.
questions about CSM, just drop it below. But welcome to all the new viewers, all the new people to our Facebook group, to Pre-PT Grind. We do this
hmm
every week just to chat, just to keep you guys updated on what's going on, get a pulse on how you guys are feeling about everything through this process. So for the ones who do know us, you know how this goes, and we'll share it out.
But nah, man, this is a crazy weekend for a lot of people in the profession, and for a lot of you that are pre PTs that have just been hearing CSM, and not sure what it is. Really, it's the combined sections meeting, but essentially, this is kind of like where everybody from all over the place, whether you're an orthopedic, physical therapist, pediatrics, whether you work with neuro, it doesn't matter really what area of PT you practice in, or whether you are a student and even a pre-PT, you have the opportunity to come to this one location where, I mean, there's classes and all going on at that time, but the main thing is you have the opportunity to network with other individuals that are ahead of where you are, right? So for Casey and myself, like we're a little bit ahead of y'all pre-PTs, right? Because we've gone through the application process, gotten into PT school, gotten through PT school. But at the end of the day, like we still have individuals, Casey, am I right or am I right? Like we have individuals that we look up to that are ahead of us. And we have to surround ourselves with those individuals. Otherwise, we stop growing, right? And if we stop growing, then we can't give back to y'all as much, right? So the more we grow, the more we learn, the more we invest in ourselves, the more we can give to all of you. And so this is like the perfect weekend for everyone to just come to one location, get to interact with as many individuals as possible, and then really just leverage themselves, because you start to network and find individuals that become not only lifelong friends, but the individuals that push you to that next level. And so that's what CSM is all about. But this week, this week, the topic is the sure way to PT school. Little caveat for those of y'all that were waiting for the podcast today, it is still dropping today. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but it's Wednesday. It's Podcast Wednesday, which means that it's still going to drop today. So look out for it within the next hour or so. But the sure way to physical therapy school. Casey, is it really possible? Is it really possible to say that there's a sure way to PT school? That seems
Let's
that
talk
seems a
about it.
little
Let's talk
that
about it.
seems a little abstract, brother. That seems a little abstract. And so if I'm a pre-PT, if I am a pre-PT, and let's say I've applied a few times and I haven't gotten in, or I've applied and maybe I'm just super unsure about this next application cycle. So I'm thinking, you know what, let's add another year off or another one after that, just so we feel a little more comfortable. Like, is there a sure way? Is there a way we can know? Is there a way we can know that that it's a wrap, that we have it in the bag in terms of getting into physical therapy school, bro? Talk to us about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. There's been a common theme, and what's up to everybody coming on? There's been a common theme that we've had through our podcast, through talking to you, through students just messaging us, of
Yeah,
the people who got in, whether it was the first time, second time, multiple times. There's been a common theme for when they got in. The
yeah.
sure time they got in, there's been a pretty common theme of not of really going all in, really going on in all in on everything, whether it's mindset, grades, GRE, letters of recommendation, studying, reaching out to the teachers, whatever they had to do,
Yeah.
they were all in 150, 200%. Unlike the other times where they were halfway this, lukewarm in this time that they got in, the sure time that they got in, there was a fire under them. There was no
Mm.
going back. And I can say that for myself. The first time I applied to one school. I was like, this is easy. All my friends are doing it. I'll just sign this little thing. I'll just write this little essay, send in my application, and a couple weeks later I'll get in. But after that didn't happen, it was definitely a fire lit under myself. There
Yeah.
was that second time, I'm telling you, there was no going back. I had no other plan. I was like, I'm getting in no matter what. There was
hmm
no backup plan. There was no maybe med school, maybe PTA school, maybe this, maybe no, 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 no. I was 2000% in. I did what I had to do, and because of that, that was my sure way into PT school that next cycle. I started early. I started after I got over, my little sadness, my little whatever. I was like, pity party, whatever you want to call it. After I got over that, man, I'm telling you,
it was game time.
It was game time. It was no plan B. It was a fire lit under me. It was no going back. So sure way to PT school. That's what you got to do. You got to have a fire lit under you. You gotta burn all the bridges behind you. You gotta not look back. Whatever you want to call it. People can call it different things, but at least for me, I can speak for myself because I've been through it. If you want a sure way to get in, from talking to myself, from talking to others on podcasts, you just got to be all in, 1,000%, no going back, no plan B. Burn the bridges, don't look back. You're getting in this time.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. That's my take on the sure way in. What you got for us,
bro? And I completely agree with you, man. Here's the honest truth. To all of you pre-PTs listening to this, this is going to be the easiest and most challenging message for all of you to hear. Out of everything that we have shared over the past, 10 months plus, this will be the easiest and hardest message to take in thus far. There might be something else we come up with down the line, but for right now, this right here is it, because it's simple. It's simple because all it is just being all in, right? And it's very easy to think, well, I've put in a lot of effort, man. Joseph, Casey, what y'all saying? That I didn't put a lot of effort in my last round, huh?
Right.
Like I put a lot of time in that. Right? And so, okay, and I'll hit that in just a moment. So it's easy on that realm that it just seems like something anybody can do. But on the other hand, it's also the hardest thing you can do, because there's a very deep part of us as humans that hates going all in. Let me tell y'all about it a little bit, about one of my fears. So I'm scared of heights, y'all. I'm terrified of heights. And the one thing I don't like, in correlation with heights, is being in an enclosed space where I don't have control of my own life, right? I know some of y'all can relate to that. Like being in an enclosed space where I don't have control of my own life. So I think I was about 9 years old. We were like in Indianapolis with a family, and we're in an elevator. I think my dad was there for some meetings, and so the fam kind of rolled through or whatever. And so we're in the elevator, and I'm there chilling. Like we're going down. For one, I'm grown now. I've gotten over it. But at the time, I was terrified of elevators because it was one of the moments where I did not have control of my own, safety. Like I'm talking like I was the kid where when we went to like the county fair and you have the Ferris wheel, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at it from the bottom saying, okay, so if I got stuck there, I could like slip out there. I could hold on to the pole. I could slide down to the center. I could hold on to this other pole, slide back down. And then I could kind of work I'm telling y'all, that was me. That's how I thought, right? And so we're in this elevator and I'm like, all right, this thing's taking forever. It was one of those like super slow ones. We're coming from the top floor, going down to, I think, like floor 3 or 4. I can't really remember. But bottom line is, at some point, I don't remember what happened. I started like kind of banging, playing around, trying to buy time. And I don't think I did it, but there was a malfunction of the elevator itself. So when we got to the bottom, if you guys see elevators, there's 2 doors. There's an inner door and an outer door. Right? So the inner door opened and the outer door stayed shut. So it opened and all I see is a bunch of machinery. And I was like, oh, shoot, here we go. I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm thinking as a 9-year-old Joseph, right? I hated the feeling of being out of control. I always wanted a way out. And that's how we're wired. We always want a way out. With our pre-PT journey. We always want a way out. If I don't get in, I want to have this backup plan. If I don't get in, I want to have this backup plan. The one thing that we think is actually keeping us safe becomes the one thing that cripples us most. The one thing that we believe is keeping us safe as pre-PTs becomes the very thing that cripples us most. So the sure way to physical therapy school is being all in. The sure way to physical therapy school is doing your research, doing your work on the front end to know, yo, I'm in 100%. I have identified my why. I understand that. That's my fuel. I'm locked in on it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I know some of y'all are procrastinators. So let me talk to y'all for a little bit. Y'all like to wait till, I'm saying y'all, I'm included. I did this for almost every semester of my life until I got my act together. All right. So like, I know a lot of us, really, really were inclined. I'll use the word inclined. We were inclined to wait till the finals time, right? So grades weren't looking so hot during the semester. We would wait till it's almost finals, just kind of, wait till that moment hit. And we were under that pressure of, well, it's either I pass this final and do well in chem, or I don't pass the final and I don't do well in chem, right? So we were in that point of just kind of trying to see if we could just wait till the last possible moment. And during those last 2 weeks, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, for all of us who procrastinated for most of our academic journey, and for those of y'all that are still procrastinating, what we did is we took those last 2 weeks and put in everything. Any distractions that were normally there, whether it was a ball game, if you're like a sports fan, it doesn't matter what league you watch, if you like watching movies, hanging out with your homies, all of that, it doesn't matter what you normally did throughout the semester. During those last 2 weeks, you were locked in. You were locked in 100%. You gave absolutely everything. You were all in. It's that same energy that actually propels you to the next level as a pre-PT if you just carry it on throughout the entire semester, throughout the entire year, right? What do y'all think is going to push you when you're in PT school? The same thing. But y'all are training yourselves now to do it, right? So you can't go through the process and be honest with yourself and say, well, I'm trying a few things here. I'm looking at schools from time to time. I'm not really going to pay attention to the application stuff until June, July, because that's when it starts to pick up. I'll do all the things. I'll look at the website. Joseph, they didn't accept me. I looked at the website. Man. I tried this. I tried that. And I'm here were you all in? Were you all in the entire time? Were you all in? When you're all in, you're willing to do whatever it takes. When you're all in the last 2 weeks before a final, because you have to do everything it requires to pass that final, you're going to do what it takes. So the sure way to physical therapy school, as Casey was saying, is being locked in and being all in, burning the ships, having no retreat. And the only way you can do that, the only way y'all can do that is by doing your research, doing the work on the front end to make sure that physical therapy is where you want to serve. Keyword serve. Physical therapy is where you want to serve. If that's what you're locked in on, man, then we shouldn't be talking about, man, I'm thinking about doing OT after this. But if it doesn't work, I'm thinking of being a PE teacher. If that doesn't work, my dad has a business here. Those are the things that are going to cripple you. You're not going to work as hard as anybody else that's hungry. You're not hungry enough, right? But once you burn the ships, it's not a harsh message, guys. This is actually this is a very kind message because it's an easy thing to do. But once you realize that that's all it takes, then all the other pieces that were not in place prior to start falling in place. You start asking the right question. 2 weeks before final, if y'all are waiting for it, and you're saying, yo, I don't understand chapter 2, are you saying, hey, explain to me chapter 8? You're saying, no, explain to me chapter 2. I'm going to find all my buddies that, did well on that one exam, and I'm going to have them review with me because I know where my pain points are. When you're all locked in, you start identifying what those pain points are, and now you're saying, I need help with this. Casey Joseph, help me with this. People on the pre-doctorate physical therapy students page, help me with this. Classmates, help me with this. Teachers, help me with this. My tutor, help me with this. But you're all in. That's it.
Hey. And if you're listening to this and say you're 3 years out, 2 years out, or the cycle coming up, this is your first time applying, this story doesn't really have to be yours, right? You don't have to go through all this. Yeah, it might sound good, you got in the second time, fifth time, and we all root those people on, of course.
Yeah.
But if you're scared, if you're timid, man, I hear these stories all the time. I don't want it to be me. Burn that bridge now. Burn it now. Don't have a back. Don't wait for you, to have to go through what other people go through. Just look at them and see, okay, I don't want to do that, or I do want to do that. I like this about that situation. I like that about that experience. Burn it now and have no backup plan now, and just go all in, so you don't have to go through what those others have went through before. So this does not have to be your story. If you're applying this cycle for the first time, if you got some time coming up, it's time now. It's time now. If you talk to any of those people, including myself, they'll probably be like, man, I wish I started earlier. Man, I wish I was in your spot. Man, if I was you, I would have done blank, blank, blank. Do it. Do it and go all in right now. If that's you, that's it. So that's the message. That's it. Sure way to PT school. You got to start now. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Man, for those of y'all that just joined in, this is one that you guys are going to have to rewind and watch again once we end it, because this is one of the, like, this message alone has been what's changed my perspective, even as a physical therapist. All the things we're talking about are not just, tools that you'll use just to get into PT school and that's it, and you just put them on the wayside. These are things that will actually propel you even further, setting you years ahead of where Casey and I were when we started PT school, even, right, to when we ended PT school. We're just teaching y'all things that have become clearer to us as we were even later in that journey, as we went through our own struggles, and now we want to make sure that y'all don't do the same thing, right? So that is the sure way to physical therapy school. And if anyone tells you anything else, man, all right, cool. I'm down to see another method. But that right there, you cannot refute. None of the greats can refute it. None of the physical therapists that have made it into the field can refute it. I mean, even people outside of it, anybody that has really done their part to achieve that level of success, which for you is getting into PT school, priming yourselves up to be the most amazing clinicians that you guys can possibly be, right? Transforming our profession. We've talked about that many times. But the biggest way to do that is to make sure that you are all in. Y'all look out on the Pre-Doctor Physical Therapy Students page and our other pages within the next hour. Our podcast will be dropping tonight, man. Y'all will not want to miss that. But if y'all have listened to this and y'all been like, yo, man, this your way to get into PT school, man, like, I got some questions because I'm either scared about, being all in, or I'm not quite sure if I know enough to fully commit. And I need some level of direction, man. Contact us at contactpreptgrind.com. Just go on your computer, contactpreptgrind.com. If y'all go in there, reach out to us. We'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. But that's it, man. Like, we just want to make sure that you guys find that clarity. If every pre-PT listening to this was all in, y'all would literally be the most dominant incoming class ever. Because I can guarantee you a lot of the things that are crippling our profession now are because most of even the physical therapists in the field are not all in. Are not all in. I'm not saying that to cause any fires. I'm saying that to be real. All right. So y'all have a good one. If y'all got any questions, man, reach out to us at contactpreptgrind.com. It's always our pleasure to serve all of you. It's always a blast to see all y'all win too, especially y'all that says, man, I got into PT school. It's the greatest. It's the greatest feeling ever just to see you guys win, because we know that the rest of our profession is in phenomenal hands because y'all are running the show. Sounds good?
Yeah, and pay attention to our social media. We might be doing some stuff from CSM. We might be going live here and there. We might be doing some stories. Who knows? So pay attention to everything. But that's it. Enjoy the week, the end of the week, guys, and keep grinding. Keep grinding.
Oh, for sure.